Hello addicts, welcome back to the American Girl Addiction. So here you can see what I purchased from today's 3 times rewards event. Since I decided not to get the collector dolls for the holiday for this year, I figured this would be a great time to get Jasmine. She was definitely the Disney collector doll I felt the most excited about when she came out, because I just couldn't get over how much Belle looked like existing characters we've already gotten for the brand, and how little Rapunzel actually resembled her movie counterpart. So I'm going to be doing my own custom of Rapunzel, but for Jasmine, I just really adored this costume and this doll, so I'm going to be unboxing her now. So in case you haven't really gotten a look at her, you can see how this one is. Right off the bat, so her jewelry is normally not askew like this, but she was sideways in the shopping bag and she kind of got rumpled a little bit there. And then I did notice these stray hairs. They don't really bother me, but it might be something you'll want to look for if you aren't planning on taking her out of the box and wouldn't be able to fix that yourself by kind of tucking the strands away. So just so you know, yeah, be careful how you're transporting her. And I will get her open so you can take a look at her. All right, as I'm unboxing her, already you can see that I've mostly tucked those little short hairs away. Her lips are beautiful. She looked kind of cross-eyed in the store display, but here I think she looks very pretty. Her eyes seem good, and I actually think the painted on eyelashes really do kind of complement her. And I love these peacock accents on her and the gems and everything. Very pretty. And I think this one is probably the best adaptation, I think, of the outfit for the collector dolls. They did a really good job with Cinderella, as far as I can tell. I haven't unboxed her yet, but they did a really good job with her. But some of the other collector ones, like Rapunzel, I feel like they either made too fancy or too different from the original doll. But Jasmine seems like a pretty good compromise. They kind of brought this down so it was more modest, and her sleeves have some support here because obviously her top kind of couldn't have the opening it actually does. It reminds me a bit of the movie version of her, so that's great. So far, the only thing I'm noticing that is probably a bit of a negative is, if you look here, her hair has been pulled into the same band that her waist is in. And as a result, already I kind of noticed it as I was taking the lid off, some of her hair has pulled free. So again, if you're planning on keeping her as close to box condition as possible, it might bother you, although you can't tell it in the camera, but to the naked eye, you can definitely see all of those loose hairs. So let me pull this free and see if I can adjust her hair before I open her any further. So yeah, her hair definitely is probably going to need to be brushed and rebound, because again, all of these pieces, as you can see, and some of them are shorter. I don't know if you can see that there. So I'm definitely glad that I got my military discount for her and didn't pay the full $310 that she's going for. I still am loving the doll so far and the outfit, and in general, I think I'm gonna like the wig. But I do think maybe, which it might just be that, you know, she's so old. So if you have Jasmine, comment down below if you noticed these, all these short kind of broken hairs and her hair already coming out of its ties, because it might just be mine. So I would hate to color other people's opinions of her if that's not the case. So let me finish getting her out. But if I notice anything else while I'm unpackaging her, I will stop and let you know. All right, so this claims, this authenticity thing claims that she's number 1,826 out of 4,000. I wonder if that's actually true, because I feel like surely more people than that would have purchased her, but maybe they just sent a lot of the early ones to my store and not many people there bought her. I'm not sure. Okay, I noticed something else while I was filming. So firstly, I already fixed this thing, but this happened because American Girl had actually looped her hair onto this thing back here with the plastic, I guess, to keep it in place. So just unhooking it very gently pulled a ton out of this bunch. So her hair will definitely have to be re-brushed and like fixed up. So hopefully I can do it while keeping this top together. Like hopefully I just have to fix the bottom part, but we'll see. I'll keep you updated. And then also be careful if like you're letting a kid take this out of the box. Her skirt is actually like sewn to the edge of the box to keep it spread like this. So I'm gonna try to get it without it ripping, and I'll do that on both sides. Okay, there's some tape and a string over here, so I'm thinking if I pull this, I think I'll be able to free her skirt. There's a knot in it. Okay, so I'm gonna have to cut this and then pull it through on this side. All right, Jasmine is free. It can never be said that she was not very well secured, so I'll just perch that up there for now. Okay, and I'll remove it. So she continues to be an interesting case of where I do think American Girl maybe could have done some better things in terms of the packaging and presentation in order to keep her in pristine condition. But I am still very happy to have her, and I think she's gorgeous, and I'm glad to add her to my collection. So I'll start with the negatives so I can end the video on a positive note. Or I guess I can go back and forth. So one positive thing for sure is the way they did her necklace. And I was thinking they did this, but I wasn't sure. So the front is like a hardened piece of plastic, and in the back, it's a chain, and it has been kind of zip tied together so it won't break, and it'll hold like kind of perfectly in place. So what this means is I think it'll be less likely to break as opposed to just like a plastic thing that went around her. Like some of the American Girl bracelets, like Courtney's, I was always worried that they would get damaged as I tried to put them around the wrist. So that to me is an unquestionable good thing. A slightly nitpicky thing is that her earrings are not even slightly symmetrical. I've noticed this with some of the Josefinas, but this one seems like way further out. Maybe it's just in my head, but I feel like they look different. So that kind of, which is only emphasized by the asymmetrical stuff with her hair, which I'll get to shortly. A very positive thing is her dress continues to amaze. So got these kind of like satin-ish pants, and then a sort of mesh but slightly thicker skirt. It's not as flowy as like the ones from the Spirit Halloween type costumes, but still pretty flowy and good. And like her dress is pretty. I was a little worried this was going to be asymmetrical too, but it's just the way that it's folded. It is in the middle. It's just creasing a little weird. So you can kind of adjust that to get it the way you like, but I do think it's the same on both sides. It's just going to be something I personally will mess with to try to make it more symmetrical. Now onto the thing that continues to be the biggest kind of PSA or sort of criticism, which is her hair. Not the wig itself, which seems to be really great, like pretty thick, like definitely thicker than like Be Forever Josefina's, and the new Kaya one and whatever, or even the old Kaya one. But they have her hair pulled over to this side, even though Jasmine always wore it down her back kind of in the movie. It's a little, yeah. So it is in fact pulled over here. It's coming out of its thing, and you will risk messing up her hairstyle if you try to fix it. So I am probably going to try, so I can't even keep this part in, or it's going to be massively crooked. So I'm going to try to move it over here. I'll let you see the results in a minute. But if you're not, even if you're planning on having her hair just kind of be perched on her shoulder, I think it is less satisfying than it could be because of all the ways American Girl tied her in the box. And even if you, as you kind of saw, even before I took her out of the box, some of her hairs were already coming out. So if you want to keep her in the box, maybe don't look at her wig, or try to pick one in person where you can tell if her wig is messed up. All right, I fixed her hair. I just kind of pulled this over, and then I undid her bunches, and then I put them and the zip ties back in, and they already had a lot of hair broken and like wrapped around them. So I'm glad I did this. It's still not perfect, so cutting American Girl some slack. It's still, you know, is going to be a little bit messy. I didn't use a brush, granted, but this shows that, yeah, it's not a problem with the wig. It was just a problem with the presentation and the way they decided to secure and style the hair, in my opinion. Some people might like it over her shoulder like that, but I think, especially if you're going to like take her out of the box, I think this looks really nice. And then you can slide her hair over her shoulder like this, and it should stay pretty well. I had it where it stayed earlier. It's kind of falling. Okay, there we go. I think that looks really pretty. So yes, I am very happy with Jasmine. I think she's pretty. I think her outfit's pretty, and she really does look to me like the Naomi Scott version of the character from the live action remake, which is probably my preferred version of the character. I know it's kind of blasphemy for Disney fans, but overall, I like this iteration of Jasmine. And so far, I think she's definitely my favorite out of the collector versions of the dolls, because I think she's the most accurate to her movie. The play ones are pretty accurate though, like Ariel, and then I'll see with Cinderella. But I'm really happy to have gotten Jasmine, and I definitely recommend getting her. Maybe check in the store and see how her hair seems to look if you don't want to be taking her out of the box and messing with her. But since I prefer to take all of my dolls out of the box, it wasn't a problem for me. So yeah, she's so pretty now. American Girl just needs to make Aladdin so I can like set them together and be happy. Make the Disney princess, make the Disney princess American Girl.